everyone, I'm Tanu Sharma and welcome to Take Me Back to the 90s podcast where we journey back to the golden era of 90s. Today's guest is the talented Vinod Singh, a versatile actor known for his remarkable work in numerous ads, the iconic music video Sochta Hoon Uska Dil, and popular TV shows like Daddy Samjha Karo and Ayushmaan. So let's welcome Vinod Singh. Hi Vinod, thanks for joining in. So my first question to you is, what inspired you to pursue a career in acting?
So I used to do a lot of stage shows in school and stuff, but never thought of acting as a career. I was doing my engineering, and in fact, acting had totally taken a backseat. But I used to do a lot of fashion shows in college. I used to be very active with all this extracurricular activities. And so I think so. It was my second sem, and I'd come back for a vacation, and we were with some friends. हम लोखंडवाला में घूम रहे थे, and this guy approached me. First he kept looking at me, staring at me, and giving this smile and all that. And all my friends were like, this guy is looking at you continuously. ये कोई gay way होगा. So, so we were like running away from him, and then we went to McDonald's, and हम वहाँ बैठे हुए थे, and we were having our burgers and Coke and everything. And this guy walks up to me and he says, "Do you want to come in acting?" And I said, "Listen, you're a gay, na? So please, I don't want to talk to you." So he started laughing, and it was a fun moment. And he said, "No, I am a casting agent, and I myself do modeling and ads and all that.
Wow.
And you should get into modeling because you've got a fantastic smile and a very nice face." So I said, "Listen, I'm not interested. I'm into studies. I'm doing my engineering. So all this," and that time what happened used to Tanu, that time nobody knew there's this line. Nobody thought there was a profession called acting. Where people come for auditions, where you have casting agents. We all thought that whoever's family is into this line, unke bacche aa jate hain, TV pe kaam karte hain. But like a whole profession, going for auditions, giving tests, makeup and this, and casting people, and there's an agency, we had no idea about it. So when this guy walked up to us, we were like, "No, yeah, this is fake. And why would somebody approach us or me rather than that?" So I said, "No, I'm not getting into this. Okay, now you're going to tell me to make a portfolio, which is going to cost," at that time, it used to cost about $60,000. So I said, "I'm not interested. And I don't want to get into it." So this guy pestered me for 6 months. And that time there was no mobile phone. There was no pagers. So he used to call me at home on a landline. Every 3 days, every 4 days, he would call me and he would say, "Have you thought about it? Are you thinking of making pictures? Are you interested?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I just don't want to get into it." And the more he used to call me, the more I used to feel it's a complete fake and this guy is going to get me into trouble. So I think so after 6-7 months, he called me up and he said, "Why don't you just send me your ghar ka pictures? Forget portfolio. But wherever you're standing alone, just send me those pictures."
Okay.
So I said, "Okay." So I sent him some few pictures on email. And then he calls me and he says, there's an audition in Mahalakshmi Famous Studios. That was the place where the auditions would happen. And it was for close-up. So why don't you go and give an audition?
I remember
said,
the famous ad.
Yeah. No. So I did one close-up ad before that also.
Oh, okay.
Which didn't release. It didn't release. So so I went for the audition, and I thought, what's the harm? He's not taking any money. I'm not losing anything. एक बार जाके देख लेते हैं. If things don't work out, I'll leave it. Any which ways, I was not interested.
Yeah.
But I said, might as well, अभी इतना सामने से आया है, एक बार जाके देख लेते हैं. So when I went there,
Yeah.
Famous Studios is a huge studio, massive studio, where all the shooting of Kaun Banega Crorepati and all those used to happen at that time.
Wow.
So, and in one corner, there was a small handy cam with few lights set up, and people were coming and giving audition. And guess who all was giving audition? There was Shahid Kapoor, Aisha Takya, there was Vishal Singh, there was Aftab Sivdasani, there was Amisha Patel. All these people were standing in line and giving audition.
Shahid started around early 2000, right?
Yeah. And that time he was not Shahid Kapoor. That time he was not the famous Shahid, or nobody for that matter of fact. Nobody was that famous. But so when you see them, you would know, Acha, I've seen this girl, Aisha Takya. She used to do a lot of ads at that time.
Yeah.
Aftab Sivdasani, he was a star at that time, in TV at least. So Rasna boy, Rasna girl, and all that. So I'm like, I've seen these people, and so they were coming and giving auditions, and the audition was just talk about yourself. And so these guys used to come and they were like, I'm Shahid Kapoor and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this. And I'm like, I'm looking at like, what have I done? I've not done anything. So I kept sitting there and waiting and waiting. And people were coming after me also and they were giving auditions and going. I was sitting there. So this guy comes to me, lunchtime ho gaya tha, and this guy comes to me and he says, "Ghumne aaya kya? Picnic pe aaya?" So I said, "नहीं, audition देने आया." तो बोलता तो कब से तो बैठा है. So I said, यार मैं डरा हुआ हूँ. I am scared. And this is my first time. And I've never given an audition before. I've never seen a camera before. So I don't know what to do. So he started laughing. He says, it's okay. Sabka ek time aata hai aisa. So let me just finish my lunch and then I'll tell you what. So I said, okay. So he had his lunch, fatafat. And in 15 minutes, he came up and he said, let's do your audition. I said, but what do I say? He says, just talk about yourself. Just be yourself. Just talk what you like doing, what is your favorite pastime and what. So I said, okay, okay. So I just said that. And he says, okay, it's done. That's it. So I'm like, that's it? No more audition, no acting, no. He said, no, nothing. So I went home. And after 4 days, I was not there at home. My dad gets a call and they say he's shortlisted for close-up ad and the budget is 2 lakhs. So my dad said, he'll come and speak to you. And I came back home later and he said, there's this number they've given. Call them up and speak to them.
Yeah.
So I spoke to them and they said, you're shortlisted. And how much would you charge? See, the budget is not very high, but it's 2 lakhs. I said, yeah. Done. So finally they wrote my name and the money that I'm going to charge. And now the casting guy calls me up, this guy who sent me over there. And he's like, why did you ask for such less money?
Yeah.
I said, less? But the person who's never made $100 and the first ad, the first audition of my life, he's saying they would have given you 5 lakhs for the ad.
Wow.
Because it was a 2-year contract. But now that you've already said, can't do much about it. I said, I'm okay. I don't need the money. Even if I get the ad, I'm okay. Forget the money. So he said, theek hai. He started laughing. I says, next time, if somebody's talking about money, you just say, I will do the talking. You give my number to them, I will do the talking for your money. I said, done. So that's the first ad I did with this. So yeah, so that's how my life started. And after that, I did 7 ads in that month. One after the other. And in fact, my second ad was with Amisha Patel.
Wow.
So it was Cadbury 5-star ad.
That's amazing, Vinod. So can you tell us about your first audition experience?
I was doing a lot of ads. Okay. Every third ad, I was doing it. Touch wood, God's been very nice to me, very kind to me. And not that I had some airs about it. It was just that Uh, so I think so. What worked in my favor was the chocolate boy next door. Okay.
The smile.
So, yeah, the smile. Or so normally what happens, Tanu, either you're very good looking, like Aftab, like those people, or you're somebody where people can relate to.
Yes.
So if he can become an actor and if he can do this, I can also do it. So I fit in that, where everybody could relate with me so well. Ki if Vinod can do it, then he's like us. He's one of us. So that worked in my favor. And I kept doing ads one after the other. And the best part was the people that I did the ad for, they would recommend me to somebody else. They would say, yeah, my friend is also making an ad. Why don't you go and try over there? So not that I gave a lot of auditions. It was just that I was working with somebody and that work was amazing. Touch wood. Something worked in my favor and they would recommend me. So I did 7, 8 ads with one director. Kept doing his ads because he would go and tell the clients, I want Vinod.
Yeah.
Because this ad, I want Vinod only because he fits in this role and I know how to act with him. I know how to get the scenes with him because he's a natural. So that worked in my favor. Now, one day what happened was one of my friend was going for a TV audition, a show audition. And he said, tu chal saath mein. I didn't want to do television at that time. I had no intention and I had never even thought about doing television. But I said, chalte hain, jaake dekhte hain audition kaise hota hai. So we went to this set, Savera Theatre. That time, Malad mein ek theatre hota tha, Savera Theatre. So we went there and lot of people. There was a lot of crowd, girls, guys, uncles, like everyone having script in their hand and going through their dialogues. So, okay, my friend also went. He took a script and he started rehearsing. So, I was watching the other people give audition. Okay. And there was this guy sitting on the chair, and in front of him, there was this monitor, and he was looking at all the people giving auditions.
Okay.
He was the one who was selecting them. So, one person gave the audition, second person gave the audition. By the fourth or fifth, I remembered all the dialogues, listening to them.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was standing behind him, and one guy came and he fumbled and he did something weird. So I started laughing. Not to put him down, but naturally ho gaya. And this guy looks at me and he's like, तुझे आता है dialogue? I said, हाँ, बहुत easy है. अच्छा, तू करके दिखा. I said, नहीं, मैं audition के लिए नहीं आया. I just came to see.
Yeah.
He said, नहीं, you're laughing na, at others. Go and give the audition. I said, no, but I'm not come for audition. I don't want to give. So he said, no, but I want to see you give the dialogues because you're laughing at others, na? वहां जाके ना कैमरा के सामने सबकी फटती है. So I want to see whether you can do it or not. I said, okay. I went in front of the camera and I gave the dialogues. Complete, one go. Then I said, sir, I have another variation. ये तो ऐसे है, but इसको मैं अपने तरीके से करूँ क्या? So he started laughing. He's like, हाँ कर. So I did it in my way. And he loved it so much. He said, you're doing my show. I said, but I'm not here for acting. Bolta hai, still you're doing my show. Do you know who I am? I said, no. And he says, I am Anand Mahendur, the guy who made Dekh Bhai Dekh.
He was the director of that show?
He was the director of the show. And the moment I heard his name, I froze. Because who doesn't know Anand Mahendur? Matlab, he was god of comedy at that time.
For sure,
and
yes.
I would not think that he would sit there and take auditions. And he just looked at me and he says, you're going to be in all my shows.
And which show was this?
Daddy Samjha Karo. But before Daddy Samjha Karo started, he already had a show called Gharwali Uparwali on Star Plus.
Yeah.
With Mansi Joshi Roy, with Rahul, with Mukul Dev, and So he took me in that show.
Wow.
There was no character. He made a special character for me. So there was Whoopi Goldberg's show where, she has this thing on crystal maze and she speaks something.
Yeah, yeah,
So so I remember who was the actor? Nasruddin Shah's wife. I'm not getting her name.
Ratna Shah.
Ratna Shah. Ratna Pathak Shah. She
Yeah.
was playing that character. So she would say anything. Matlab, she would just go boom, badam, dham, dheen, dham. I had to make sense out of it because she was a fake crystal maze reader and all that. So I would have to make sense out of it. So there was no character as such. But because he liked me so much, he said, I want Vinod in this show. Now write a character for him. So I became that character. And trust me, Ratna, Mansi, Mukul, and we would just make dialogues there. And we would fall on the place. We would lie and keep laughing after every dialogue because it was not written. We would just come out with any nonsense and we would laugh. And that show was such a super duper hit. It was such a brilliant show because natural comedy over natural. Everything what is happening on the set. So he gave me that show. Then Daddy Samjha Karo started. I was the youngest girl's boyfriend. And so now you realize, Tanu, I have a problem with the letter R. I can't. It's a birth problem. So Hindi mein to aur bhi zyada ye hota hai because you have to be very clear with your words, right?
Yeah.
Now, the moment he got to know about it, he called all the writers and he said, I want all the words to be with R because it sounds cute.
Yeah.
And I used to be ragged because of this in my school. I was a very introvert and I used to fear talking in front of people because of this. I've cried on so many occasions. I've had fight on so many occasions in my school. I would never, even after being such a brilliant student in education, in studies, I would never go out openly in the front because I had this insecurity about me talking with that letter. And in school, friends would not talk to me, as in students would not talk to me because I had this fumble, with the letter R. So if when you're small, anybody stammers, anybody's a little different, people would not be friends with them.
Yeah.
So I had that fear in me. Okay. And so when this happened, I was so scared on the set. How would I do it? And he says, no, it sounds cute. I want this only. And that changed my whole attitude about acting. Because first I used to be scared. And that is the reason why I would not want to get into television. Because I had this problem about talking.
Yeah.
And he changed the entire mindset. And then people started loving it. Then everybody would come up and he said, the way you talk is so cute. The way you have that accent is so amazing. And the thing which was so negative for me became the most positive aspect of my life. The best part is when you talk about a person like Anand Mehboob, when you talk about people who are like legends, okay, they have so much of work profile behind them. And Daddy's Dekh Bhai Dekh, one of the best comedy shows ever on television. And when that person is so humble, is so down to earth, is so understanding, and he has no airs about who he is. But he's such a brilliant director to work with. A lot of people call him very perfectionist. And so it becomes a little difficult to work with somebody who wants exactly, like this one. But for me, it worked in my favor because he made sure that I don't think I knew acting at that time. I didn't know. So whatever I've learned from people like him.
So he acted
ऐसे
as a support system for you at that point of time.
majorly, and I have few more, because everywhere I was the director's actor. You tell me what to do. I am a clean slate. Uh, you tell me how you want it. I will give you that thing. But tell me. So I did another show which didn't come on television with Juhi Parmar and Sakshi, Tanwar, and all that. And it was shot by the director was I'm very bad with names. Sorry, Imtiaz Ali.
Wow, Imtiaz
So
Ali.
yeah,
He did
yeah.
TV for?
He did only TV before. When he got into films, and all his films are super duper hit. Socha Na Tha, the Kareena Kapoor one, which is that with Kareena and Shahid.
जब भी
मैं
मैं
अपनी favorite हूँ,
जब
जब
भी
भी
मैं
मैं. Yeah. So working with Imtiaz Ali is another amazing experience. You might be the best actor on that place, and he will change the way you think. And the best part is he will tell you to say the dialogue 3, 4 times, 5 times, and then he'll say, "Why are you saying the dialogue this way? Why can't it be this way? Why can't this word be a little more important? Why are you not putting a pressure on this thing? And why are you not thinking like this?" And then, "Hi, yaar, my God, I too didn't think only that way." And he changes the whole thing. And when you go on set, you've already rehearsed it so many times that it flows out naturally. So, what an amazing director Imtiaz Ali is. What a human is. He's a fantastic human being. And I think all these big legends, the big people who've become so big in their life, are big because they are like that. Because they're so amazing with their work. They understand what the other person is going through right now. And the way they make it out, the way they get that work out of you.
That's truly inspiring, Vinod. But Vinod, how do you think the industry has changed since the 90s?
I think so. People's attention span has gone down. Okay. And when I say people, so everybody is like that. So even the writers have become like that. So nobody's, I think the concept today is not that strong. The story. Before, if you see all the shows like Tamas, like Khandan, like Banegi Apni Baat, they had a solid, foolproof story. Today, they don't have a story. They have TRPs. So if your TRP is going down, they will kill the main character. If your TRP is going down, they'll get a love angle in the picture. That was never the part of the story. So just to get your TRPs and just to raise inquisitiveness in people, they'll start a storyline which was never there. And that is why there's never a nice flow of the story. It's always ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. Something happened, kill the main guy only. Then do a plastic surgery and another actor comes in the picture. That was never part of the story, I think. Because like Banegi Apni Baat, I think at that time to make a show like that, what a brilliant show on drugs, on college campus. Again, the concept, the story, the characters, the everything was so well planned and worked on. So that's why when you see those stories, when you see those shows, you remember it. Till date, you remember those shows. You tell me the new shows, which show you remember? None. I don't even remember the actors in the new show. So like the other day, I met an actor and we were just talking in a party and he said, "I've done 4 shows." I'm like, "Which shows?" And he named those 4 shows and I said, "Acha, there were shows like this on television? Which channel?" Because you don't even know. But there were times when we used to do shows, everybody knew the character, the actors, the
Exactly.
story,
Yes.
the writers, the director, everybody was famous. Because the shows are today also, you would remember everybody from Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi or
Yeah.
Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki, or because
Any show.
they were
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
show, any show. So that was the charm, I guess. So that is missing. And that is why people are not able to connect to those shows. I think the way the working style, obviously the pace, because when they had time, proper time to shoot and understand and take it that way. Today everything is so fast that every day the storyline is changing. That time you had 32 episodes ka story already fixed. So you know exactly what was going on. And the character, like whatever character you're playing, you know your character. Today, what happens is you hardly know what the character is. You're doing an episode of 32, 30-second episode. You're doing a character. Then you're coming on the 15th episode. You're doing a character. What is the thought process in the 15th episode is not there in the 32nd episode. So you feel this character is behaving, yahan to bahut cute hai. Wahan he becomes aggressive. No, the character is character. Na? If Ayushmaan was aggressive, he would have been aggressive everywhere. But he was never aggressive. He was always this scared little boy who would want everyone to be happy around him, even though he's sad, but he will make people happy. Why? Because he thought nobody loved him. So that was the character. So I would play that character. And again in Ayushmaan, when the camera used to go on, I would become this. The guy who would keep crying and the guy who was scared of everybody. And when the camera would go off, I would become Vinod Singh, who was extra confident, who was extra lively, macho, and all that. And people would think, how do you go so easily in that character? Because you had already given me the description of that character. For me, it was so easy to go into and go out of it. A lot of people actually thought that my dad would hit me like this. They thought that I was born and brought up like that. That's why it was easy for me. I said, no, not at all. I'm a totally different character outside. I'm a totally different character when I'm playing Ayush.
What advice would you give to new actors starting out today?
Stop running behind the fame. Just be passionate. Today, I see everybody wants to just become famous. Yeah, matlab, whether it is Instagram influencers, whether you want to do collabs, the effort is not there. They just want someday they should become famous. And people should know them. Which doesn't happen till the time you don't put in that hard work, the effort, the struggle. Then the fame also is very short-lived. You know, if you don't have that, it's a very short-lived thing. So you will come, it will come and go, and you will not remember it. Like today, I'm not been doing television from last 7 years. But yet
Why is that?
I want to get into OTT.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've done 12 TV shows. So I know how TV works. I know the whole, game about it and all that. So now there was like taking a step further, either films or OTT. Now films, you need a major backup and, that kind of pull behind you, which I don't have. So nobody from my family is into acting. They don't even know. They don't even have an idea. And half of my family doesn't even like it. So I'm the only one who's in this line. So I don't have that kind of pull or that. So I thought OTT would be a better choice.
Yeah.
But if you're doing television continuously, they will not take you into it. For coming into television also, you need to be out of TV for some time.
Vinod, you took a break and now you're planning to move to OTT platforms. Was that a planned decision? Was that intentional?
No, so it was part intentional, part just the way it happened. Because at that time when I left TV, OTT was not so big at that time. There was TVF and all that, but it was not that big. Intentional because I had done 12 television shows, and there was a time when I was doing 3 television shows at one time. So when you're doing 3 television shows, you hardly have time for yourself. So I was so tired, and I was like, I would not sleep. I would just be in front of the cameras 24/7. So it actually takes a toll on your health and your thoughts. And so I needed a break, because when you're doing ads, you have good time for yourself.
But you're still
There's
doing
not,
ads, right?
yeah. I'm very much into ads, and I love that line, and that's where things happen for me. But every line has its charm. Tanu, I will not say TV is bad or films are bad. See, I've done films also. I've done television also. I've done ads also. I've done music videos also. Everything has its own charm. But TV actually takes that thing out of you, because you're non-stop working.
Okay, so this is one of my favorites. If you could reboot any 90s show, which one would it be?
I would want Ayushmaan to come back again, because a lot of people till date, when I go out, aunties, guys, people, they say it was such a beautiful show. And last time it ended very abruptly because I left the show. So they want it back, and they want, because it was a doctor show, and they shown a lot of good things about the medical fraternity and how things happen and all that. So yeah, and obviously my show, because I love doing it. There are a lot many shows that I would want to be part of, but I think so. It was my first television show as a lead, and so it has a different connect to me, and I really love the show.
So, Vinod, you were part of such iconic shows like Hip Hip Hurray, Daddy Samjha Karo. So, do you have any fun or special behind the scenes memories?
Memories, so yeah, I made the best of television friends from Hip Hip Hurray. So whether it was Mehul Nisar, whether it was Candida, whether it was Kishore Merchant, Rushad Rana, they all friends, Vishal Malhotra, they all friends till date.
Wow.
And why they are friends is because I think so. It was the first show where all youngsters, all with the same kind of mind frame, the wavelength, age group were together. And when we used to shoot, it was not like shooting, it was like picnic. So it was so much of fun to shoot on that set. And even the director, Nupur Asthana, was brilliant. Daddy Samjha Karo, a lot of memories. Again, fantastic set again, because Bua ji, Shubhangi Gokhale, is so much fun in real life also. She's full of masti. Girish Oak, the guy who played father, is a very big Marathi actor. He's done a lot of films in Marathi, and he's a brilliant one-liners. He comes with instant one-liners. So working with such people has always been fun. I've realized one thing is, when you are that kind of person who gels very easily with people and all that, all your sets become very easy. Because when you go over there, there's some charm, some charisma with people that you connect with, and the kind of fun you have and all that. Otherwise, I've heard from people that shooting is very tense for them and they don't enjoy it. A lot of politics and all that. But I guess maybe because you're like that, it becomes like that. Yeah. When you're fun loving, when you're chill out, when you like just want to give it your best and learn from others also. And I've worked with such brilliant actors. Like, I would definitely name 2 of them. Ayushmaan, my mother, Indira Krishnan. I still call her my mother. And my father. They are the best actors I've worked with.
Wow.
Because you've always seen them on television, and you've always felt how it would be to like to work with them and all that. And when you're with them in their presence, and when you see them, like every scene, like my mother, Indira Krishnan, would cry at the top of her hat. She doesn't need glycerine. She doesn't need this. The moments here, one moment you're laughing and enjoying, and the next moment action happens and she starts crying. When you work with such people, Uday Tikekar, my father, the person who played my father, one day we're sitting on a dining table, and he's the one who always hits me. He's the one who's angry. He's the one, that guy. Okay. So there was a scene where we are sitting on the dining table, and uh, he remembers something about his son that he gave away. If you remember, there was another son called Bodhi.
Yeah.
Which we don't know, which I don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the time when he starts talking about him without letting me know that there's another son. He just talks about it. And while eating, he starts crying. And I had goosebumps on my hand. I froze. There was a time when the director had to say, Vinod, you're still in the shot, because it was a 3-camera setup. And I was just looking at him mesmerized. I'm like, oh my God, this guy, what an actor. Looking at him, you could cry. Just looking at him. So when you work with people like this, na, they're fantastic. They're so amazing.
That is truly amazing, Vinod. Lastly, do you have any message for your fans?
Keep loving me. I'm the best. I'm supposed to be loved. No, I'm thankful to them. Yeah, thankful to them for loving me, for giving me so much of love, for liking my work. I do my best. I try my best, and so I think so. It's something that makes me do well, because I feel if you're doing some job, because this is my profession, you have to do it at the best of your ability. Whether you're a CA, whether you're a doctor, whether you're an engineer. So if you're an actor, you do your best, and then leave it on the rest. If the public likes it, yeah, leave it for God, leave it for people. If they like you, they will show their love to you. And I've been good. Thank God, touch wood, that people have given me so much of love. So the other day, somebody sent me, if you remember that ad, I don't remember I think so, it was BPL, I think so. 98.
Yeah.
So somebody sent me that ad. and I thought it's a good ad. And they said, no, look closely. You're there in the ad. I'm like, I
You
don't
don't
even
remember?
I said, no, I don't even remember. But such a beautiful ad. It was that.
Yes.
981. Yeah.
Famous, yeah.
Very famous ad. And I used to love that ad. And I didn't remember that I was part of that ad. So yeah, when you've given like 24 years in this line, you've done so much of work. There are times when you don't remember.
Yeah.
So it's nice when fans or when people tell you that, we still remember you, we still remember your song, we still remember your ads. And so it's definitely a very good feeling there.
Lovely. I really enjoyed our chat today. I hope you continue to entertain people with your work and achieve even more success. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for this fun conversation.